As a wise man once said, the earth without art is just eh. Art has been around for millennia. Ever since the beginning of human existence, we see the earliest traces of art in caves, drawn by early humans tens of thousands of years ago. After that, we skip ahead to the ancient civilizations like the Mesopotamians and the Egyptians, where ceramics, sculptures, and tapestries were used to express their art. Then later on in the medieval ages, various mediums began to be used such as illuminated manuscripts, stained glass, mosaics, and metalworks. Following that, one of the most well-known art ages was the Renaissance. The Renaissance was a period that marked the transition from the Middle Ages to modern times. Well-known painters like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Raphael were important figures of this era. And now we come to the present. As we look back on ancient art and continue to create new pieces every day, art becomes more and more concentrated in populated cities. One city that has seen a surge in artworks in the recent decades is Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we are now. Art can be hidden in every nook and cranny in Chattanooga, specifically downtown, which is a melting pot of art and different styles. Murals like the stems, head of the houses, faces on Fraser Avenue, and the Flying Donut on Broad Street are the kind of things seen by people every day just while they're on their commute. It's art like this that livens the mood, brings character to the area, and in general is nice eye candy. Here we have our very own mural that is one of the most commonly overlooked. STEM has a large mural showcasing the faces of our houses, consisting of Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, Mabel Stoppers, and Mariam Mirzakhani. These murals take up a ton of space along the outer wall of STEM. The first was painted back in 2016 by a group of 9th and 10th graders with the help of a previous Disney Imagineer, Barry Snyder. This series of faces brings a needed color to the previously blank space that was looking quite dull. Originally, it was just Albert Einstein, but Barry Snyder came back to help to assist in the works of Nikola Tesla, Mariam Mirzakhani, and Mabel Stoppers. An inventor from Serbia, a brilliant female mathematician, and an African-American nurse who fought for gender and racial equality. And now we will sit down with the Imagineer himself, Barry Snyder.
So, Mr. Snyder, why did you decide to paint Einstein?
Albert Einstein was the inspiration for the Einstein House at STEM, which students are said to be relatable, imaginative, and empathetic. Plus, the design that I had for the mural was from a t-shirt company that is no longer in business that I worked at, so we were able to reuse that design with some minor tweaking and changes.
What were your original ideas for the mural?
I never liked the original colors, so I changed it up and added more details and the colors of Chat State, so I really wanted it to stick out with all the green around campus. The purple and blue are the Einstein House's color, and the black made it blend and pop nicely. We also added on his famous equation, the E equals MC squared.
How long did it take for you and the students to complete the Einstein mural?
We worked on this over the students' spring break, so they were out there for 7 days painting and designing. I can't quite remember how long the other 3 murals took, but I would think around a week, like the Einstein one, so that would come about probably a month total for the 3 if I factor in designing and extra things.
Can you describe just how big this mural is, both the Einstein mural and the 4 combined?
Just the Einstein mural alone spans 16 feet across and around 13 feet tall, I think is what we measured. The entire all four murals, that was 66 feet long, so it's a pretty large mural that the students and I created.
When were the other 3 created?
I came back to help them make these in 2017 or 2018, I think it was. I had been talking with the staff between the first and second batch of murals about coming back to create more, and they wanted to do their heads of houses or who their houses were named after, so that's what we did.
Was there any inspiration behind the colors for the 3 other murals?
Not really. Well, for the Mabel Stoppers, we really wanted to highlight that she is an African-American woman, so we did highlight the brown and darker tones in her skin, unlike what we did for Mirzakhani and Tesla. For the Tesla mural, you can somewhat see a green tone for their house, but it just isn't the right shade of green. Pretty sure they said that it was a hunter green, not what is on the mural.
What are the signs? Okay. Cut here, Zarsh. What are the signs next to the murals?
Each mural has a quote that goes with the person said. I had nothing to do with those signs. I don't know how those got up there and made. The students did mention something about those being vinyl letters, which that part I understood. It might also be made of acrylic, I think. I might not know.
Why did the students want to help with the murals? Was it because of a school project?
Actually, no. The students just wanted to help. You would think they would be doing it because of a project, but they just wanted to help give their school something to display, and I think it turned out pretty awesome.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next, we go across the river. Located near Coolidge Park on Fraser Avenue, the Faces on Fraser mural was illustrated in 2011 by artist Kevin Bate. It depicts the face profile of the 6 founding fathers of technology. From left to right, Charles Babbage, father of the computing machine, Nikola Tesla, inventor of the alternating current, Vannevar Bush, creating the predecessor of the hyperlink, Alan Turing, creating a decoding computer, Claude Shannon, creator of information theory, and finally, Steve Jobs, the creator of the personal computer. They're each painted in a slightly different style with slightly different colors. Charles Babbage and Nikola Tesla are painted in the same styles, but orange is used for Babbage's face. Vannevar Bush's profile is the only one with a border and has more of a shaded texture style. Alan Turing is the only profile to have an article of clothing in color, being his red tie. Claude Shannon has a green background, and Steve Jobs has question marks spinning around his head. Now, we wanted to get a closer look at what is in the mind of the mural creator Kevin Bate, so we decided to meet with him and see for ourselves.
Why do you choose to paint mainly faces?
Well, my thought was that if I did a picture of a house or a tree, well, it could be any house or any tree. But if it were a face specifically, a famous face, you would know when looking at it if it looked right or not. I wanted to see if other people could recognize the faces I was painting. Turns out most can. Not all, but most.
What do you value most as an artist?
I value the public's response to my art. I think one of the reasons for art is a reaction, even if it's hate. What's really strange is when people walk by and they pay no attention whatsoever. There's a guy on a ladder, 20 feet up in the air, with a paintbrush between his teeth, and they'll walk by not even looking at the wall. And that's strange to me.
What do you like or dislike about your work?
The thing about my work is that it's of famous people. People can appreciate my admiration towards these figures, but what I'm painting isn't unique. That's also a reason why I like to give my paintings an older kind of feel. I think it gives my paintings a lot of character outside of my content.
What is your dream project?
Probably painting my face on a huge skyscraper. I'm kidding. Honestly, I would love to go into an underdeveloped area and liven it up, to bring culture and creativity to somewhere that hasn't seen it. This would allow more people to learn about art and how it's important to the world.
What's the best piece of advice you have been given that you might like to share with us?
I would say hold on to your vision. Don't let anyone tell you that you're wrong or that you have a bad idea. They just don't have the creative eyes and mind of a strong artist. Also, get out there and let yourself be seen. You have to promote yourself and your work, or otherwise it's just going to end up being propped against someone's wall collecting dust.
In the summer of 2014, Joseph Geary painted one of the most famous murals in Chattanooga, the Flying Donut. Located by Cook's Bakery on Broad Street, the Flying Donut is 90 feet wide, spanning across 3 sides of the building that it's painted on, making it one of the biggest murals in Chattanooga. It has a cool blue sky background with stars and warm colors on top for the donuts. The donuts have a range of types and colors. Some can be pink with sprinkles on top, or it can be an old-fashioned donut. At an intersection with not much to offer, the Flying Donuts add a character to the street that cannot be replicated. The donut mural reinforces the bakery idea of Cook's Bakery in the area. Despite how beautiful and amazing this mural is, the city wanted to paint over it because they saw it as quote-unquote promoting the bakery. The councilman, Chris Anderson, said that, quote, "The problem is the existing ordinance we inherited. The sign ordinance in Chattanooga is incredibly restrictive. So, starting today, I'm going to do what I can to ease those restrictions so we can beautify these public squares," end quote. Local artists, activists, and supporters worked together and starting a petition to save this mural. Someone even went as far as sending 54 dozen donuts from Cook's Bakery to the City Hall. That's 648 donuts that they made. In the end, the city ended up changing the ordinance, meaning the mural was saved. Now, we go to Joseph Geary himself to speak with him about this stunning mural. Alright, Mr. Geary, describe your background to me.
I began taking art seriously in the mid-'80s. I did public art in California for 18 years, and as one of my first jobs, I worked with the redevelopment agency on the coast to help improve the visual appeal of a neighborhood in Long Beach. Soon after, that same redevelopment agency took the whole block I lived on and paid all the renters to move. After that, I moved back to Alabama near where I went to school.
What type of art do you mainly make?
My niche market for most of my career has been tied to city redevelopment efforts. In other words, doing public artworks to enhance and cover up urban blight, literally turning negatives into positives and shifting the perceptions of a neighborhood to encourage the public to take a fresh look at the possibilities there. I've also done extensive work designing and producing props and sets for film production, stage, and visual merchandising.
Why do you decide to use bright colors mainly?
It's about bumping the energy level up. I've got these cool background colors, and I'm purposely using these warm colors on top of it so the donuts jump off that cool background. And I want my art to smack you on the head and pop out.
What inspires you as an artist?
Being able to make any bland, boring area into something new and fresh. That mural is one of the parts of Broad Street that stands out to anyone passing by, and that's because it's so unique compared to everything around it. Whenever I see people admire a spot or area more because of the art that I painted, it just makes me feel like my job is actively shaping our community into a much more positive one, and that I should keep going and keep bringing more artwork to these blander areas.
What do you dislike or like about your work?
I like that I'm able to transform an urban area into a more interesting and culturally integrated area, but I sometimes don't like the people that I have to work with. It requires a lot of listening, information gathering, and building skills to be able to make these artworks come to fruition.
What's one piece of advice that you would give to an artist?
Make what you create to be a representation of you, and make it the best representation of you that you believe in. Authenticity is key when it comes to these murals that are seen by thousands upon thousands of people every single day. It's what builds that connection between the painter and the viewer.
Alright, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
The expression of art in downtown Chattanooga allows for atmosphere and culture. Even the art in places you wouldn't expect to see can mean something, whether it has an obvious meaning or not. Faces of Frasier and The Flying Donut are two of Chattanooga's most popular murals, done by artists that have painted all around the country. Depending on your perspective, you can see it everywhere around you. We've only highlighted a mere handful of murals and art pieces in Chattanooga. There's the Hunter Museum, the Martin Luther King mural, and an entire art district located here. Local artists have proven not only their creative ability, but also their resilience to people or ordinances which may not see things the way they see it. The community surrounding Chattanooga, though, is something that isn't seen in very many places. Even with the 3 murals we've covered today, and the dozens more we've shown, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of the rest of Chattanooga's rich culture surrounding art. These murals have surely inspired many people to go off and create their own pieces of art. They're even able to do so within Chattanooga. There's the Chalk Alley, Graffiti Alley, a grass garden inversion alley, which has bamboo hanging over your head, and the Stage Genie's Alley, which allows you to walk through cameras, speakers, and computers that are all connected and programmed to start playing the Chattanooga Choo Choo. If you live in or are in the Chattanooga area, we recommend experiencing the art around you for yourself, so you can truly see how much of it is scattered around Chattanooga.